Have you ever climbed into bed feeling perfectly fine, only to find yourself staring at the ceiling an hour later with a burning sensation creeping up your chest, a strange gurgling in your belly, or that uncomfortable heaviness that makes it impossible to get comfortable no matter which way you turn? Maybe you've woken up at 3 in the morning with a sour taste in your mouth, or you've noticed that your mornings begin not with energy, but with bloating, sluggishness, and a stomach that feels like it worked the night shift while you were trying to sleep. If any of that sounds familiar, I want you to stay with me, because what you eat in the final hour before your head hits the pillow may be doing far more to your body than you realize. And the good news is that a few simple, thoughtful choices can completely transform not only how your stomach feels overnight, but how you wake up, how you digest, and even how deeply you rest. I'm Dr. Richey Parker, and over the years I've worked with many people facing this exact issue, people who've told me they eat reasonably well during the day, but still feel like their stomach betrays them at night. And what I've learned, both from clinical experience and from the growing body of research on digestion and sleep, is that the stomach is not a machine that simply shuts off when you close your eyes. It keeps working, sometimes quietly, sometimes loudly, and the fuel you give it in those last waking minutes shapes the entire experience of your night. So, let me walk you through this the way I would if you were sitting across from me in my office, because once you understand what your gut actually needs before bed, you'll never look at your evening snack the same way again. Here's what many people don't realize. When you lie down, gravity is no longer helping your digestive system move food downward the way it does when you're upright. Your stomach empties more slowly, the muscles that keep acid where it belongs relax slightly, and any food that's heavy, greasy, spicy, or highly acidic suddenly has a much easier path to cause trouble. That's why the same slice of pizza that feels fine at lunch can feel like a small fire in your chest at midnight. It isn't that your stomach has become weaker. It's that your body's position, your hormones, and your slower nighttime metabolism all change the rules of the game. And once you understand those rules, you can start playing to win. Let me explain why timing matters just as much as the food itself. Your stomach generally takes about 2 to 3 hours to empty a moderate meal, and your small intestine continues processing long after that. If you eat a large meal and go straight to bed, you're essentially asking your digestive system to work uphill in the dark. But if you give your body a small, gentle, purposeful snack about an hour before bed, something designed to soothe rather than stress the stomach, you can actually support digestion, stabilize your blood sugar through the night, and even encourage the release of the hormones that help you fall and stay asleep. That's the sweet spot we're aiming for, and it's more achievable than most people think. Now, let's talk about what actually belongs on your plate in that final hour, because this is where the real magic happens. One of the gentlest and most underrated bedtime foods is a small bowl of plain oatmeal. I know, oatmeal sounds like breakfast, but hear me out. Oats are rich in a soluble fiber called beta-glucan, which forms a soft, soothing layer as it moves through your digestive tract. That layer can actually help calm an irritated stomach lining, ease mild reflux, and slow the release of sugar into your bloodstream, so you don't experience those blood sugar crashes that wake you up at 2 in the morning wondering why your heart is racing. A small portion, made with water or a little low-fat milk, and maybe a few slices of ripe banana on top, becomes one of the most stomach-friendly things you can eat before bed. And speaking of bananas, they deserve a moment of their own. A ripe banana is soft, easy to break down, naturally low in acid, and rich in potassium and magnesium, 2 minerals that help your muscles relax, including the smooth muscles of your digestive tract. Many of my patients who struggle with nighttime cramping or restlessness find that a small banana about an hour before bed makes a noticeable difference. It's also gentle enough that it rarely triggers reflux, which is a common complaint I hear from adults in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. If you've been experiencing that burning sensation at night, swapping your usual late snack for something like a banana with a small spoonful of almond butter can be a quiet game changer. Now, if you've ever wondered whether dairy belongs in your evening routine, the answer is nuanced. A small serving of plain, unsweetened yogurt, especially one that contains live active cultures, can be wonderful for your stomach. Those cultures are essentially friendly bacteria that support the trillions of microbes already living in your gut, and a healthier gut microbiome is linked to better digestion, less bloating, and even improved mood and sleep quality. But here's the important part. You want plain yogurt, not the sweetened varieties loaded with sugar and artificial flavorings, because sugar late at night can spike your blood glucose and disrupt the deep stages of sleep your body relies on for repair. A few tablespoons of plain Greek yogurt with a sprinkle of chia seeds or a small drizzle of honey can be soothing, satisfying, and genuinely supportive of your gut. If you're finding this helpful, consider subscribing to Dr. Richey Parker for more practical health insights. I share these conversations because I truly believe that small, informed choices repeated night after night are what quietly transform your health over the years. Let's talk about warm liquids for a moment, because they play a role that's easy to overlook. A small mug of chamomile tea, ginger tea, or even warm water with a slice of fresh ginger can be remarkably soothing to the stomach. Chamomile has been used for centuries to ease indigestion and promote relaxation, and modern research suggests it may help reduce inflammation in the digestive tract while gently supporting the nervous system. Ginger, on the other hand, is one of nature's most reliable digestive aids. It helps move food through the stomach more efficiently, reduces nausea, and can ease that heavy, overstuffed feeling that sometimes lingers after dinner. Just keep the portion small, because too much liquid right before bed can send you to the bathroom in the middle of the night, which defeats the purpose of a restful sleep. Now, I want to be honest with you about the other side of this conversation, because knowing what to eat is only half the picture. What you avoid in that final hour matters just as much. Heavy, fried foods sit in the stomach far longer than most people realize, sometimes 4 hours or more, and when you're lying flat, that slow digestion becomes a recipe for reflux and restless sleep. Spicy foods can irritate the stomach lining and trigger that burning sensation many adults describe as heartburn. Chocolate, as much as we all love it, contains compounds that relax the valve between your stomach and esophagus, allowing acid to travel upward. Caffeine, even in small amounts, can linger in your system for 6 to 8 hours, and alcohol, while it may make you feel sleepy at first, actually disrupts the deeper stages of sleep and can worsen reflux significantly. If you've been experiencing poor sleep and can't figure out why, take an honest look at what's on your plate in the evening. Sometimes the answer is hiding in plain sight. Here's what could be happening if you've been struggling with nighttime bloating, gas, or that uncomfortable pressure in your upper abdomen. It's possible that your stomach is simply being asked to do too much, too late. Our digestive systems have natural rhythms, and they slow down in the evening the same way our energy does. When we ignore that rhythm and give the stomach heavy, complex meals right before bed, we're working against our own biology. The fix isn't dramatic. It's often as simple as eating your largest meal earlier in the day, keeping dinner lighter, and reserving the final hour for something small and stomach-friendly. I want you to picture a typical evening for a moment. You've had a long day, maybe you didn't eat much at lunch, and by the time dinner rolls around, you're ravenous. You eat quickly, perhaps more than you needed, and then you settle onto the couch to unwind. Before you know it, it's nearly bedtime, and you feel that familiar heaviness. This is one of the most common patterns I see, and it's not a failure of willpower. It's a scheduling issue. When you allow yourself to eat more consistently throughout the day, with a proper lunch and a modest dinner, you arrive at bedtime without that desperate hunger that leads to overeating late at night. And on the nights when you do feel a little peckish before bed, you're able to reach for something small and intentional rather than something large and regrettable. Let me share something a little more personal about the gut, because I think it helps explain why all of this matters so deeply. Your digestive system is often called your second brain, and for good reason. It contains hundreds of millions of nerve cells and produces a significant portion of the serotonin in your body, the same chemical that influences mood and sleep. When your stomach is inflamed, irritated, or overworked at night, that stress signals travel up to your brain and can quietly interfere with the quality of your rest, your mood the next day, and even your energy levels. Taking care of your stomach before bed isn't just about avoiding indigestion. It's about honoring one of the most influential systems in your entire body. If you've been experiencing frequent nighttime discomfort, persistent reflux, unexplained bloating, or a sense that your digestion just isn't what it used to be, I want to gently encourage you to speak with your primary care doctor or a gastroenterologist. These symptoms are common, but they shouldn't be ignored, especially if they've been going on for weeks or months. Sometimes there are underlying issues like a hiatal hernia, food sensitivities, or changes in stomach acid production that benefit from professional evaluation. Small changes to your evening routine can help tremendously, but they work best alongside proper medical guidance when something more is going on. For most people, the path forward is beautifully simple. Give yourself at least 2 hours between your last full meal and bedtime. If you feel genuinely hungry in that final hour, choose something small and gentle, like a few slices of banana, a small bowl of oatmeal, a spoonful of plain yogurt, a handful of almonds, a kiwi, or a warm cup of chamomile or ginger tea. Chew slowly. Sit upright for a little while after eating. And when you do lie down, consider elevating your head slightly with an extra pillow if reflux tends to bother you. These small habits, layered together, create the conditions for your stomach to rest just as deeply as the rest of you. I'd love to hear from you about this. Have you ever tried a specific bedtime food that changed your sleep or your digestion? Have you noticed patterns you didn't expect? Sharing your experience in the comments not only helps you reflect on your own habits, but it often gives someone else the exact insight they've been searching for. This is what I love most about these conversations. We learn from each other, and small realizations add up to big changes. As we come to the end of our time together tonight, I want to leave you with this thought. Your body is not working against you. It's constantly trying to communicate with you through the way your stomach feels, the way you sleep, the way you wake up in the morning. When you listen closely and respond with small, intentional choices, especially in that quiet hour before bed, you begin to build a relationship of trust with your own body. And that trust, more than any single food or supplement, is what sustains real, lasting health. Thank you for spending this time with me tonight. I'm Dr. Richey Parker, and it's always my privilege to share these conversations with you. If you found this helpful, if it gave you even one small idea to try tonight, I'd be grateful if you'd give the video a like. subscribe for more honest, practical health insights, and share it with someone you care about who might be struggling with their sleep or their stomach. Take good care of yourself. Be gentle with your body in these final hours of the day, and I'll see you in the next one.